And I think we're there. We're on live.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Awesome.
man. So this is only my second ever live session. So be some time for me to get used to this. But yeah, we've got no one on yet. So um
It's just me and you. Have
me
fun.
and you, yeah, look, for those who are going to be watching this later on, welcome back for another video on Revitalize Yourself. I'm Joff, and today I'm joined with very special guest. I've got Mr. Shawn from Intentional Carnivore. So I've been wanting to pick his brains a little bit for some time now. I've seen his, his interviews in a few of uh, carnivore channels out there, like with Dave Mack, Dr. Anthony Chafee, and man, you've got an amazing story, dude. I think the you know, and I'm sure you'll talk about this a little bit more, but your weight loss, man,
Mhm.
how much in
Absolutely.
total? It was about 230 pounds, right?
So I've lost 269 pounds since April the 17th of 2022 to date. I weigh
Two
188 pounds right now, and I have 269 pounds in a little over a year. About a year and a couple
Wow.
months. Yeah, 4 months.
Jeez, that is. Hey, man, I just want to congratulate you, dude. That's
Thank you.
amazing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got a story to tell, and and how you've achieved that, and other things in regards to your health. So yeah, I might just let you take the floor and just could you run us through your story, man, of how you got to where you are? How did you lose your weight, and what did you do?
Absolutely. Yeah. So thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me on, man. It's always good to meet new people and I've been
Thank
watching
you.
a little bit of your stuff as well and I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it and I appreciate your message and I think it's vitally important for those of us who have been blessed and changed and helped by this way of eating to share that with the hopeless and the people who are still searching. So I appreciate you for that and I'm glad to be here and be with you today.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. So yeah, it's been an amazing ride. It's been an amazing journey. I never really planned on starting a YouTube channel or any of that kind of thing.
Mm.
And really didn't start one until April of this year. Most of what I found myself prior to April of 2022 in one of the deepest, darkest depressions of my life that I have a hard time describing it with words because words really don't do
Mm.
it justice. To kind of get a little bit of the backstory, but not go too deep to make a long story short. I spent 12 years working EMS, finished up as a paramedic working for an extremely busy service, not taking care of myself, my health, whether that be physical or mental. I was 457 pounds whenever I started this way of eating. I believe I was probably closer to 470 to 500. But
Wow.
I didn't have scales that would weigh that much to be able to even tell whenever I first started out trying to change
Right.
that. And then as we kind of discussed a little bit before coming on, just briefly, I found myself in 2019 around the same time that COVID hit. I lost my job, not because of COVID, not because of whatever. It was because I was unhealthy, overweight, and unable to perform my job. My
Wow.
health was absolutely horrible. And I ended up losing my job. I couldn't function, properly. Nobody wants a paramedic showing up for their worst day of their life, their emergency, and almost being in the same shape they're in when he gets there. So
Yeah.
it's completely understandable. I struggled to get around. I struggled to walk. I struggled to do, you know, main daily functions. Nevertheless, I lost my job. I had been diagnosed with gout, hypertension, uh,
Mm.
sleep apnea. I wasn't diagnosed with sleep apnea, but I had sleep apnea. I
Yeah.
never would go
Yeah.
have the sleep study done, but I ended up my brother ended up giving me a CPAP that
Oh,
probably
right.
more than likely saved my life. I had everything from shingles to, it's crazy all the different things that I had. Um, no, but after I lost my job, I just could not make myself do anything. I just fell deeper and darker into a depression.
Yeah.
So from 2019 until 2022, I didn't work for 3 years. I didn't go out. I started isolating. I laid on my couch. I got to the point to where I would sleep most all day and all night. I would get up to waddle to the bathroom, basically, um, and I would be out of breath just doing that. And
Wow.
I tell people now, I couldn't even take a shower without sitting on the side of the tub to bathe myself because I'd be out of breath and about to pass out. I couldn't get in the car to go for a ride without the plastic on the sides of the door and the console pushing into my legs because I was that big.
Wow.
If I were on my feet for longer than about 30 seconds, I would start going numb around my sciatic nerve area and the back of my hips, down the back of my legs, and it would
Mm.
start going numb. And eventually, if I didn't sit down, I would fall down. And I was 39 years old, man, and so it was just demoralizing and depressing. So most of the time, I just laid on the couch and I didn't do
Wow.
anything. I started just sinking deeper and deeper into that hole. As I mentioned on my channel, and I'm definitely don't shy away from it. I'm a man of faith, so I still prayed. I still tried to seek a higher power. I still tried to do
Mm.
the things that I feel like are important in my life, but I just could not see a way out. I was still, I still didn't have I was hopeless, man, to be quite honest. And that's a very dangerous and disturbing place to stay for very long. And
Yeah.
so for 3 years, I let that take over and I didn't see a way out. And I finally got to the point that like, if something doesn't change, I'm done with this life. I'm done with being here. I've got a wife of 21 years. We celebrated 21 years of marriage, July the 20th.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And I've got a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter, and they are wonderful and always have been very supportive in anything that I would do. But that depression had such a hold on my life that I just couldn't find a way out, and I didn't know how to get out. I couldn't work out. I couldn't eat less and move more. I couldn't hardly move.
Mm. Mm.
I couldn't. I hadn't worked in 3 years, so I couldn't afford these programs that people sell or the pills that people want to sell or all the things that the gimmicks I call it
Yeah.
gimmick.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
personal thing. Everybody's entitled to their own. I couldn't afford that. I couldn't do the things that people say that you have to do to lose weight. I had tried to starve myself and eat rabbit food, which is what I call
Yeah.
salads and fruits. And I was a type 2 diabetic. I'd been a pre-diabetic for 25 years. And finally I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And so my health was getting worse. My depression was getting worse. And no matter what I did or what I tried, I could not find my way out. And all I could do
Mm.
was lay on that couch and fall further. And one day I came across an interview because I would sit there and listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And, I don't necessarily agree with everything the man says, but there's a lot of
Mm.
stuff he says that makes sense to me. And him and, of all people, Rhonda Patrick were having a discussion about carnivore that day. And Rhonda Patrick is not an advocate for the carnivore diet. However, their discussion got me to thinking about it. And one thing led to the other, and a few days later, I got to thinking, well, if carnivore diet can do a lot of the things that they're talking about, I need to find out more about it. If it affects your body that much,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I started doing what most people do. I got on YouTube and started Googling, searching, however you want to call it, the
Yeah. Yeah.
carnivore diet. And I come across this crazy, insane Southern doctor named Ken Berry. And I
The
thought,
Godfather.
the Godfather, right?
Yeah.
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 I said, now this guy's a physician for over 20 years. He knows better. This stuff, he's saying this carnivore diet can do all kinds of things. So, Dr. Ken Berry, if carnivore diet can do that, I want to be 190 pounds. How about that? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but at the same time, the more I listened to him talk, the more sense he made, because as we just mentioned, I've had anatomy and physiology. I've had, you know, a lot of the body functions. I've been involved in the healthcare industry. I know how the body works. You have to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So, and what he was saying about the body makes sense to me. It's the nutrition that he was talking about that didn't make sense to me, but I had no training in that.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
so I tried it for the month of October of 2021, and it was the dirtiest form of carnivore you could imagine. But it was such a difference from what I was eating as the standard American diet that I could tell a difference in my body enough to know, man, this is amazing, whatever this is.
Mm.
But I knew that there's no way that I was going to be able to do it going through the holidays, through Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, my birthday's in January, Valentine, all the things, you know. So I tried it for that 30 days and went back to the standard American diet. And then it became I'll start tomorrow, kick that can down the road for a little while. Long, I'll try to land the plane now. I know I'm rambling.
No, no, no. You're
um,
good. You're good, man.
um,
This is awesome.
and then on April the 17th, 2022, it was the week basically of Easter. And like I said, we're not just religious. I call it a relationship. I have a
Yeah,
relationship in my faith. And
yeah,
as we were getting ready to get together with family for a dinner that weekend, I don't know what clicked. I don't know what light bulb went off. I don't know what motivation kicked in, but I said, listen, I'm tired of living this way. Enough is enough. Today is my day. So April the 17th, 2022 is the day that changed my life. I said, I'm not starting tomorrow. I'm starting today. I've
right.
got to start today, and it's going to change my life or I'm done.
Mm,
And my
mm.
wife, I remember my wife telling me, she says, what are you going to do about the dinner we're going to this week? You know, this weekend, you going to go, or what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I hope they got some meat, because today's the day I'm starting.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
from that day to this day, it's been a mental transformation, because I gave it 100%, full fledged, all out. There have been times when I ate off plan. I'm not going to act like I'm perfect, and
yeah,
I have not been perfect. What I
yeah.
will say is I've been extremely consistent, extremely dedicated, and extremely committed. And it was April the 17th, 2022 is the day that I found carnivore. I gave it 100%. I quit making excuses for myself and my actions, and I started taking some responsibility, that nobody was coming to save me, that nobody was gonna pull me out from where I was. I asked God to give me the strength that I needed to do something to get me out of the hole that I had created for myself, and I fully and 100% believe that that's exactly what happened, because it's been a radical transformation ever since. And we can talk
Wow.
about the benefits further later if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that. But wow, man. So carnivore for over a year now. Is that am I doing my math right? Yeah, over a year.
Yeah. Well, I started out eating carnivore. I found my way from Ken Berry. I found my way into Carnivore Quest community Facebook group.
Oh, okay. I see. Yes.
And so basically I heard Dr. Berry talk a lot about accountability and having people to support you, and those kinds of
Yeah.
things. And as I said, my wife and my children do support me. My family supports me. They had no earthly idea, and they were skeptical, and I was skeptical when I first started. I'm like,
Oh, who wasn't?
I was like, there's no way this is healthy. You know, this ketoacidosis, you know, all the
Yeah,
time, you
yeah.
know. I was like,
Oh
just
man.
it's not ketoacidosis, by the way. It's
Yeah, yeah,
ketosis,
yeah.
which is two totally different things that sound similar. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, they're very supportive. But I needed people who were doing this journey, who understood what it was like to change the mental transformation in the way that they looked at the way that we eat. And
Right, right, right.
my family didn't quite understand that at the time. Most of them do now. Most of them eat this way now because they've seen
Oh,
the
good.
radical transformation that it's made in my life.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I found my way into that group, and so they would do challenges. Long story short, and so basically for about a month and a half to 2 months, I ate nothing but carnivore 3 times a day till I was
yeah,
full. I would eat whatever, you know. I'll try
yeah,
to
yeah.
satiate myself. give myself the nutrients that I needed that I had been lacking from eating the standard American diet and the processed junk for so long. And then after that month and a half to 2 months, they did a challenge, the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge. And
Yeah.
that's when I started eating beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And ever since then, I just found that beef, butter, bacon, and eggs is my sweet spot. That's what I
Yeah.
like. I thrive on it, and that's all I want. I
Yeah.
genuinely
Yeah.
just don't want anything else. I feel the best on that. So that's what I
Mm.
eat.
Awesome, man. That's amazing. And to this day, you're still beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Beef
You
butter,
still
mostly just butter, eggs, and ribeyes. I don't even care a whole
Wow.
lot about bacon anymore for whatever
Yeah.
reason. I know that's blasphemy in the carnivore community,
Oh no.
um, but
I'm the
I just
same.
found that yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That is awesome, man. Again, I just want to say congratulations on taking
Thank
that
you.
step. I can imagine. Well, I can see a lot of parallels in your story with mine, which is which kind of it trips me out sometimes because I feel like when you're talking, I could look back and think, wow, this is exactly the very similar to what I experienced. I went through the same bouts of you know, being unhealthy, hitting rock bottom, that depression phase,
Mm.
um, and and the switch, and how one thing just led to another, and conscientiously you made that switch to go carnivore, and I can remember the day very clear now with yours, your anniversary date because that's my wedding anniversary date. So
Oh, nice. Well,
so I can,
congratulations to you.
so I can remember April 22nd is when Shawn went went full fledged carnival. But yeah, it's amazing, man, and I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing their journeys leading up to it. But can I ask,
Mhm.
you were sold on what Ken Berry was saying and what people have been saying online. As a person who's studied anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, and has got a bit of a health background.
Mhm.
Were you scared at first? Because that was my one of my biggest barriers was the fear of, hey man, I'm going against everything I've been taught.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say scared, man. I'll be honest with you, and this has two parallels. It has really two sides to it.
Yeah.
One being where I was at, where I started.
Yeah.
I was I was so hopeless at the time that
Mm-mm.
I didn't care. I
Right.
didn't care if I stayed or whether I went. Either if it could do what Dr. Berry was saying at the time it could do and heal me, great. If it couldn't heal me and it took me out,
Yeah.
fortunately, I found out that he was 100% honest about it and it
Yeah. Yeah.
does exactly what it says it's going to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was so dark and depressed at the time that like I couldn't think about is it dangerous? I really didn't. I didn't think so much about it at that point. To me, it didn't seem dangerous as far as the health side of it because most of what I was focused on was I had just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes as well. And
Right.
he's saying if you want to combat the type 2 diabetes, which is a problem of your blood sugar and your insulin, and this one of the best ways to do that is to stabilize your blood sugar and stabilize the insulin response. And
Right. Right.
he's saying that the best way to do that is not spike it with the sugar, the carbohydrates, which breaks down into sugar,
Yeah.
and continuously spiking that all the time. And when you eat an all meat diet without all the artificial flavors and artificial sweeteners and sugars and all, you're not going to spike that insulin or
Yeah.
insulin response because you're not going to be spiking that blood sugar all the time. So to
Yeah.
me, I
Yeah.
was like, well, what better way to combat that? It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, can I do that? That's a whole nother issue. I had no commitment, no drive, no willpower, none
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff at the time. Um, you know, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I was scared. I would
Right,
say
right.
that to me it was definitely, I had tried just about everything else, and I was already in such a low place that that's one thing I had never heard of. He was not trying to sell me something. He was not trying to get rich off
Mm.
of me. He just said, "Hey, next time you go to the store, buy yourself beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and try that.
Yeah.
We're going to the store anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we're already buying, food every week. God
Yeah,
knows how
yeah.
much. We might as well. I could try this. You know,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
doesn't love ribeye steaks and
Nah,
eggs and butter and bacon? You
exactly.
know, I mean, there. I can think of about a million other things that are way worse than that, right? I mean, I had done juice fast. I had done the HC, what is it? Human growth hormones, HCG
Yeah,
shots.
yeah. Yeah.
I had done everything from hydroxycut to
Yeah.
protein shakes for juice, all the things, I had gone and gotten prescriptions that were supposed to help me not be hungry and help me to lose weight. I had tried all that. None of that stuff worked.
No, no.
Had I, I would have definitely got on board with it.
Yeah.
But this I had not tried, and this
Yeah.
was something. If I'm going to try it, I'm an all or nothing kind of person,
Yeah, yeah.
So when I tried it, I'm all out for it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, before we move on, I just want to acknowledge the people who are online right now. Hey, guys. Uh, and for those commenting, hey, Raina, what's going on? Hey, Carnivore on, and the other people who are watching right now. Um,
hey, good to
yeah,
see you
man.
guys.
If you what if you guys got questions, feel free to jot them down, and throughout this live chat, I'll pop them up on the screen. So I've got here a question. Sorry, Sean, if I can just pop it up
Oh yeah,
from
sure.
Raina. So
Hey, Raina.
so Sean, what would you say to a seemingly healthy person who swears that everything in moderation is fine and even good for you?
Mm.
That's a good
Uh,
one.
yeah, it definitely is a good one. It's good to see you, and I appreciate the question, Arena. Yeah, so basically, what I would say, I always use the comparison of like a car. Back in the day during Prohibition, people used to, around here in the South, they you could run a car or a truck off of whiskey or whatever, alcohol. They used to
Mm,
do it, but those vehicles weren't going to run optimally. And
yeah.
our bodies are obviously, as you can see, testimony after testimony, from people from all walks of life, different skill sets, whatever. Some of them have many health problems. Some don't. In my case,
Mm,
I had a long list of health issues, and whether physical, mental issues, whatever. My wife, on the other hand, started eating carnivore. She didn't have that long list of problems. She had a
mm,
handful of minor issues. A seemingly healthy person needs to understand you may be able to survive off of eating something for a short time, but that doesn't mean that something's not going to happen down the road if you keep ingesting stuff that your body was not intended to ingest.
yeah.
If you keep putting toxic stuff in, eventually something's going to go wrong. We all have different points in our bodies, whatever they may be, have a certain level that they can reach. Maybe you're one of the fortunate ones that it doesn't give you a heart attack, or it doesn't give
Mm,
you a stroke, or it doesn't give you type 2 diabetes for a certain amount of time. That doesn't mean your body's performing optimally. It means that you're surviving and you're kicking that can down the road, so to speak. On the other hand, you've got people like myself, like other people who have testified, that do have those health problems. And
yeah.
if this weren't the proper human diet, our bodies would not respond the way they respond when you give the proper human diet to them.
Mm, mm,
So and there's a lot of argument to be made, but everything in moderation. I just can't go with that. I think that is. I chalk that into the same as those who try to start eating carnivore, but they see how close they can keep their foot in the standard American diet, because
yeah.
it's almost like you want the benefits of carnivore, but you still have the addiction and hold on to the standard American diet. Either one of those scenarios doesn't let your body perform optimally. So that's kind of how I've always tried to approach that. Is it
mm,
wrong? No. Are you a bad person? No, absolutely not. I don't. I've said this, and people may not like it. If the vegan way of eating was the proper human diet and it would help our bodies to function optimally, I would be promoting that because I want
mm,
to have an optimal existence. I feel like that's the best way to give us the potential to live life, because that's what it's all about, right?
mm, mm,
um it's just, that's just not the case. And I've got the receipts from my own personal experience, and that's what I'm trying to share.
mm,
I had those long list of issues, and not only did it help me to perform optimally now, it helped reverse the type 2 diabetes. It helped reverse the non-alcoholic fatty liver. I'm off of all 3 blood pressure medications, and my blood pressure is amazing. My uric acid levels are great. I'm no longer taking allopurinol and colchicine. I don't have, most nights I don't sleep with a CPAP unless I had that habit, get into that habit of putting it on, because I did for a couple of years. But as far as not breathing anymore, I don't. The depression is by far head and heels over and above and beyond the absolute best benefit of all of this. The 269 pounds that I lost is amazing. I'm extremely thankful. It's absolutely unbelievable to have experienced something like that. I would still trade it for the depression being gone, because that is a captivity that
yeah,
my heart
100%.
goes out. The captivity that you're in when you're depressed makes you believe things, see things, behave, and it soaks into every faucet in every area of your life. I
Mm,
couldn't be the dad I needed to be. I couldn't be the husband that I needed to be. I couldn't be the son that I needed to be. I couldn't be the brother that I needed to be. I couldn't
mm,
help
mm,
anybody else. I couldn't even help myself, because I was so captivated by my and tied up in myself and in my situation. But by giving myself the proper human diet, it got me to a point. It was the tool that facilitated me getting to an area where now I have the potential to do something. Carnivore
mm,
doesn't do it for you, neither does whatever. It's the tool, it's the potential that it gives you back your life to be able to do the things that maybe you can do, the great things in life now. You can experience life. You can live life with your family now. So I feel
mm,
like that's where my heart is, and that's where my passion is now.
mm, mm.
Thank you, though. I appreciate that. You got me a little preachy in there.
That was, it was a good it's a really good question, because the way I like to think about moderation is who sets the threshold. What is considered a moderate amount of, say, carbohydrates for this person compared to this person.
Yeah,
um I think, I was watching something from, I forgot who it was, might have been, I think it was Professor Bart K. Like, yes,
yeah.
we're all we're all genetically very much alike, and very much, there's not very much of a difference. However, we do have some, individual traits, and even small genetic things that differ us from one another. And so our tolerances for certain things like carbohydrates and you know or even fat intake might be different from one individual to another. So
Hmm.
and at the end of the day, I guess we have to make judgment on what's best for us. um it just so
Absolutely.
happens, and I don't know if I've not seen a lot of people who have failed on carnivore.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've seen a lot of people who have had trouble with the addiction, letting go of the addiction. I have not seen a lot of people who
Yeah.
have, once they have got into it, failed doing it. I'm sure there's
Exactly.
always
Yeah.
exceptions to the rule. And furthermore than that, like I do want to speak to the point that you just made about the different levels that people are able.
Yeah.
And just because I still see the ketovore RN and it kind of bogged my memory. I think we all have different levels. Obviously, some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can eat ketovore, and that's as strict as they have to be to perform optimally,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's great for them. Some people can even do keto. I've seen some people eating keto and thrive.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, the reason I stuck with BBB and E is because I found that it was making my body do amazing things, and I wanted to see how far it could go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said about the motivation, like I didn't have motivation, consistency, commitment at the time, but the
Mm.
more I saw happen, that's like I created a shirt that I sell on my channel. Now I don't push it a whole lot simply
Yeah.
because they're overpriced and people can't afford it, and it is what it is. If you want one, go get one. I love it. I appreciate it. But it's the meaning behind it that means something to me. I have two of them. One of them is keep pushing forward. I made a video the first time I went walking. It wasn't for YouTube. It was for the private community for the challenge that we were doing. I just ended up posting it on YouTube because I was getting rid of my phone. And in that, I said two things in that speech whenever I was doing that walking that motivated me. And I still get teary eyed and emotional when I see it today. And one of them is keep pushing forward no matter what, keep pushing forward. Always. That's been my thing ever since that day. And the second one is motivation follows action every single time. And
Mm.
that's the opposite of what the dictionary defines motivation as.
Right.
However, practically speaking, that's exactly what people are going to find who set out on this journey. You may not be motivated for it, but if you start this journey and you start doing it, regardless of how you feel, you're going to find that your feelings are going to catch up with your motivation and you're going to be motivated by the action that you put in. It's almost reversed. And so motivation follows action every single time. I didn't want to go walking back then, but I
Yeah.
found out really quick, and over the next year, it got ingrained into my being that the motivation came after I put the first couple of steps in. And
Mm.
once I got down the road just a piece and got down the journey just a piece, I realized that now I'm motivated because I've got a little bit of work in and I've started seeing a little bit of results, and that
Yeah. Yeah.
results makes me want to see more. And now I'm motivated
Mm.
because I've started seeing something else. And so
Yeah.
motivation will follow the action. Don't get caught up in wait until you're motivated because you're never going to be motivated.
Yeah.
I'm not
Exactly.
motivated. I wasn't motivated at all. But the
Yeah.
motivation came when the action starts. So start putting the steps in, and the motivation will catch up.
You are absolutely right. Yeah, um, that's a really good way to put it. It doesn't start, you don't start off motivated. I mean, I was never motivated to get rid of carbohydrates. Man,
Mm-mm.
I love carbs, man.
Yeah, they
I
taste
was,
good, man.
yeah,
What are
it
you
tastes
talking
good.
about?
I was never motivated to all of a sudden just cut them out of my life. But you're right. Once you had you know, that step forward and got yourself in the door and got yourself in motion and started seeing changes, and you're like, oh, okay, now I feel motivated. It wasn't, like I was the same like you. I tried a lot of things um to try and get myself healthy and lose weight, but
Mhm.
it wasn't until you know I'm going to use kilos here. It wasn't until I lost 5 kilos that I thought, oh wow, I lost this in a span of what, um 2 months. That
Right.
I've never ever done this in my life. That's about let me calculate, about 15 pounds, I'd like to say. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I think what it's 2.2 pounds, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
kilo is 2.2 pounds.
2.2 pounds,
I,
yeah.
I think I can, man. Don't get me on a conversion. I can barely speak English.
Yeah.
But
Oh man, it
nevertheless,
is.
it is good though, man. I
Yeah, yeah, but the motivation thing, that kicks in, for, I mean, speaking from my own experience, it only kicked in about, a month or two into, I would even say, when I started keto. it was about,
Mhm.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Sean, I can you run us through again what sort of things? So you said you improved, you had your weight loss, which is amazing. Your
Mhm.
gout, you're no longer on allopurinol and no longer on
Colchicine.
antihypertensives.
Mhm.
And what about your diabetes?
Yeah, so my A1C was at about 7, and now it's at 5.2. So
Yay, good.
not only am I not a type 2 diabetic, but I'm also not a pre-diabetic. And it may be
Right.
lower than that. I didn't even have it tested the last time I went to the doctor just because it was at 5.3, then 5.2, and it was going the right direction. And to be quite honest, I just didn't want to give the doctor any more of my money because the
Yeah.
less money I
Yeah.
spend with the doctor is more money I can put into eating the way I need to eat and investing in the things to get, the important things in life. I feel like I've dedicated enough money to the doctor and healthcare system in my life. I don't want to keep running tests for nothing. Once it got to where I wanted it to be, now maybe I get it tested once a year or something. I don't know, but I'm not gonna get it tested every 6 months or something.
No, no. um, um, I was the same. I mean, look, I'm probably, you know, terrible, terrible person for doing this, but I haven't gotten a blood test since going
Oh,
going
really?
carnivore.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not required. How do you feel?
No, I
Do
feel
you feel
great.
better?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel good too. I don't feel like it's a requirement. I do like having the receipts. I call it receipts. I'm
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's hard to argue with somebody who has the receipts, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, 100%.
people can say whatever they want to say. You know how many times I've had people tell me that I'm going to die from a heart attack from eating this way? I'm like, well, that's funny because my heart is in great condition. My
Yeah,
labs
yeah,
are better than they've ever been, and they just continue to improve the longer I eat this way.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I could get snatched up by a pterodactyl like in Jurassic Park, walking in my car. If
yeah,
who knows how we're going to go. But died from a heart attack is the least of my concern.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you had those who are, oh, you're going to get scurvy. I was not worried about scurvy eating the standard American diet,
No, no,
eating all the other
exactly.
junk. I
Yeah,
mean, come on. You think I'm
yeah.
gonna worry about it now?
It's so funny. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we never thought we could, we never even thought about scurvy before carnivore. I didn't, certainly didn't.
Mm-mm.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Um, let's no questions. Hey, I want to dive into actually. This is if you're okay to go into this, but with
Whatever.
how you've improved with your mental health. I mean, depression
Right.
was a huge thing that you went through.
Oh yeah.
Uh, how has that changed since going carnivore, or what have you noticed?
Oh, first of all, like I said, I feel like it's every area of my life. Obviously, I don't shy away from the fact that I'm a man of faith. I pray, I read my
Mm,
Bible, I have a relationship. It's something that's extremely important to me. It's something that for me, it goes hand in hand. It's like carnivore helped the physical side, and my spiritual relationship helped the emotional and mental side. And
yeah.
so I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. And I feel like that's something that, we all have to relate. We have to all have to
Mm,
search for and look for and understand for ourselves. I don't try to force this on anybody. I just share what works for me because just like with the way of eating with carnivore,
mm,
I could scream at you and I could say that this is the only way it can be done, but unless you see the example that I'm setting and want it, nothing I say is going to ever win that debate. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I just, for me personally, I believe that if I set the example and I can love you like I'm supposed to love you, whether I agree with you or not,
Mm,
doesn't really matter to me. I still love you. Um, it is what it is. We can agree to disagree. But I can set an example and put in the work on my end, and
mm,
hopefully that will show you how much I care, and then you will desire what I have. And that way
yeah,
I'll be able to share that with you because I do think the proper human diet is for everybody.
yeah,
But I can't make you eat it. So I absolutely that's something that I try to do. As far as the mental health, like I said, I feel like not just the proper human diet gives your body it stabilizes your hormones, it
Yeah.
creates the nutrients to make all the cells in your body function properly. And on a scientific level, can I explain how that works in detail? Like some of the that's a definitely a Chafee or a Barry or a Kiltz or whoever question.
Yeah.
All I
Yeah.
know is that it did what it did and it worked amazing for me. And
Yeah.
so therefore, not only as my body physically correcting itself and performing optimally and giving me the opportunity to do stuff.
Mm.
But because, like I said, I'm a man of faith and I believe in God, and I feel like I have to live that example to be able to share that, that's
Mm.
multifaceted too. I can show the people that I care about them, and maybe that'll open up the opportunity for me to be able to share my faith with them.
Right.
It's
Right.
something that they would obviously still have to accept for themselves. But personally, my own personal walk, it has
Yeah.
made it much stronger because it's shown me that specifically one example that I can give in that regard is that before when I set out on this journey, I prayed and I asked God, I said, hey, if I want you to do a work in me that is so magnificent that only you can get the credit for this.
Mm.
And if you look at my journey, it's still being written. Not
Yeah.
only did I
Yeah.
experience the physical and the mental benefits from eating this way over the last year, but then I not only did that, but I started a YouTube channel and I'm making
Mm.
content that's reaching many other people, and those
Mm.
people are reaching people, and those people are reaching people. It's like concentric circles that starts a ripple
Yeah.
effect. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, my story is still being written. And so the work that was done in and through me is yet to be told. And
Mm.
I look at it as a success that every person that I get to talk to, every person that subscribes to my channel, it's 100. I want to see it grow. I want to see it get bigger. However, that's not the main focus for me. I look at
Yeah.
every single person as an opportunity. One sub is a life change to me. That's
Yeah.
one potential to get that message in and to and through one more person to me. And I'm appreciative of every single one of them. I say it till they're probably sick and tired of hearing me say it. But I appreciate all of them. I appreciate everybody who listens and watches and subscribes and donates and all the stuff, all the
Mm.
things.
Mm.
And so and it just motivates me even further to do stuff with other people. I love getting together with other people, man, and talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I find as well. Oops, sorry. Um, I found that when I started this journey going keto carnivore,
Mhm.
um, I went in it alone. I started off alone. But the one of the biggest things that I have found. Sorry, my audio jacks just come off. I just
Oh
one
yeah,
of
you
the
good, brother.
one of the one of the things that I have found that it's also impacted my life was just the sense of community, and the sense
Mhm.
of it's brought together a bunch of people with from different walks of life,
Mhm.
um not just sharing their stories, but man, the support from people,
Mhm.
from strangers that I don't even know from across the world,
Right.
is something that I have never experienced in my life.
Mhm.
Never experienced this before. So I wanted to ask you as well, do you feel like this community, I'm not going to label it or anything, saying it's carnivore community or keto community, but just the space that we're currently in, do you feel like that's helped you as well as a
Oh man.
person? And
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in what other way would you and I have met in any other
yeah,
way? You live where are you at? You're in what you're in Australia,
I'm in
right?
Australia. Yeah, I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, you're in Australia, that's, like, 22 hours from here, I believe. I'm in
Yeah.
South
Yeah.
Carolina in the United States, in the backwoods, in the sticks,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so, like, there's not another, uh unless some crazy thing happened and I was on a vacation somewhere and you were on a vacation somewhere and we bumped
Yeah,
into each
yeah.
other. I mean, what world does that happen? You know, I've talked with you. I've talked with Chafee. He's not, you know, he's over there. I did an interview with a sweet woman who's had some great results. Lindy, she's in Australia. These are people that Dave Max in Tokyo. Uh,
Yeah.
Kip, he's in Alabama. Like I'm talking to people who are all over the country and all over the world. And so yeah, absolutely. This community is amazing. I try to look into the comments and I see Rena and I see Ron and I see Rick and I see all the people on a consistent basis. And I
Yeah,
look
yeah.
forward to that because, you know, a lot of these people are people that I've learned from, I've been on the journey with, or, you know, I respect. They've got like Rick he's got 40 years in. I hadn't even had the opportunity to sit
Mm.
down and talk with him yet, but I've listened to him. I've seen him in the comments for 4 months. He's always, you know, sharing his life, sharing what he's doing, sharing what he's working
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
you know, whatever. I mean, you get to form these friendships with people that you wouldn't meet any other way. And
Yeah.
not just that, but it kind of lifts your spirits whenever, you know,
Yes.
you have that community. Um, and it's amazing to me. Like I said, Carnivore Quest community in the little private Facebook group kind of influenced me and supported me and whatever. And Larry and Cassie, who
Yeah,
start
yeah.
from Carnivore Quest, who started the channel or and the group, they're like family to me. They were over at my house this
Wow.
past
Okay.
Sunday before last. They live about an hour from me, coincidentally,
Oh,
and
that helps.
yeah, so they came over. They went to church with me, and we had a steak.
Oh,
I had them
wow.
back to the house. We had a steak and hung out. I mean, it's like family. I talk to Larry almost most every other day, if not every day,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because I've been on this journey with him, and you know, it's just something that I feel like YouTube or no YouTube, Facebook or no Facebook, he just became like a close friend
Yeah, yeah.
because he came beside me and I talked to him about life and everything, and
Yeah.
it's so I feel like the community in and of itself in a whole is the backbone of the movement because
Yeah, yeah.
it's not just a community where people jump in and start, you know, being in the carnivore community. Most of this community is made up of people who have seen the difference that it can do,
Yeah, yeah.
some on whatever level that is. And I think it's instrumental. And for those who are outside of the community coming in, they can tell right off the bat just as well how essential it is.
Yeah, yeah. I found that it definitely has kept me motivated to continue. Um, I can so I've been carnivore now for nearly 2 years, and I can't say it was perfect. I can tell you
Mm-mm.
that there were moments where I just wanted to, I think I'm done with it. But just seeing comments from people, even the most simple comments, or seeing someone watch a video of yours and just leave a like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and yeah, it's just I don't know. For me, it's inspiring to know that there's people out there that are like minded, that are on the same journey with you, and that you don't have to be perfect. And that's the thing. And I want to go back to that point of yours about
Oh
you
yeah.
know about being trying to you know justify carnivore, trying to basically include other foods into your diet, for
Mm-hmm.
the because you just haven't treated the whole food addiction issue. uh
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely someone who's lapsed back into food addiction recently. I you know I've probably had the most carbohydrates I've had since going carnivore. For yourself, have you had moments where you also had slipped up and felt like, oh, this is going to be a pretty challenging road back?
Yeah, not I wouldn't say I had a plan in place for whenever I failed because I'm so
Right.
used to failing. Everybody sees
Right.
the success that I've had and they naturally assume, well, this guy's super successful. But I don't hesitate to mention, I've got a long list of failures that I've
Yeah.
drug along to this one success. So definitely don't let it fool you. Have I fallen off plan? I have eaten off plan, but my plan was in place whenever I started getting some momentum behind me and getting down this journey just a piece. I said, look, I don't know if I can do this forever. So what am I going to do? What am I going to have in place
Yeah.
for when I fail? And I had made my mind up beforehand. If you can't do this anymore, any stricter, any whatever, here's Dr. Berry. Even he's the idea came from him. It's not new to me. He said if I cheat on carnivore, I do it with
Mm.
ketovore, and if I cheat on
Yeah.
ketovore, I do it with keto. He's like, you fail, but you don't fail all the way. You fail a little bit, and then you get right back on. And so I was
Yeah.
like, okay, what's something that I can settle for? And I have always loved Texas fajitas, and that was my go-to. So like whenever I eat off plan, I
Yeah. Yeah.
have I will go have Texas fajitas, and I will
Yeah.
get enough for one meal. I don't have like something where I got leftovers for 3 or 4 different days, things like that. It's like, all right, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. I want something this or whatever. I I have my Texas fajitas, and then I'm right back to my plan tomorrow. And usually, honestly, I want to go back to my plan because I can tell a difference when I
Oh
don't
yeah.
put what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to eat into my body. Not that I'm sick, not that I'm, whatever, I can't move and I'm whatever. But just whatever it is, man, I can tell that I haven't given my body what it wants and it's not happy
Mm.
and it's
Yeah.
not performing. There's something not right about it. And so by the next day, I'm ready to get back on plan already anyway, because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
feels so good, man. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, uh, when I've gone off plan, and like I said, it happened quite recently. I just felt horrible, horrible, absolutely horrible. I just wanted to, hop back on straight away. Um,
Mhm.
I'll be honest. I had a weekend of just binge eating, and I felt like one weekend of binge eating took me 2 weeks to recover. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, let's acknowledge some people that are on right now. Yeah. Um, Rick, I felt like I went from being the only one to a part of a larger community. Yeah, man. I
Mhm.
can imagine being, you know, I can only imagine being being the lonesome one on. Would you even have social media back then in those days, Rick? I'm not too sure, but
No,
yeah,
right?
that I feel you on that. Hey, Rick, how was it like actually if you're still watching back then without social media or actually, being lonesome in this, in this journey? How did it feel like? I'd really like to know. And Susie's here. Hey, Susie.
Hey,
Thanks for
Suze.
thanks for um thanks for watching. Um yeah. So how are you for time, Sean?
I'm good, man. Hey, Nicole. Nicole
Hey,
jumped on.
Nicole. Nicole's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good on time, man. Whatever. I don't
All right,
have look. I
cool.
don't. I don't have anywhere to be till work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I got to
Yeah.
sleep a little bit.
Oh. Well, lucky you. Hey, Beverly.
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on? Good to
man.
see everybody.
Thanks for. I had I had several friends, and no one ever thought twice about my way of eating. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Right.
Um, um, I have had a few people who have, I guess, opposed the way that I eat, and I found that it's probably because they're probably the most closest to me. The ones who are close to you tend to be, I find anyway, more harder to, I guess, explain or to convince
Yeah.
my way of eating. Have you ever had any troubles with, I guess, certain people that have, opposed this way of eating?
Well, I wouldn't say I've had a whole lot of trouble. Like, honest, to be 100% honest, like my family was kind of, like I said a while ago, skeptical of this way of eating. They didn't really buy hook, line, and sinker. However, my mom eats this way. My brother eats
Oh,
this
good.
way. My sister and brother-in-law eat this way. My sister-in-law is a nurse practitioner. Um, excuse me, sorry. My wife eats
Yeah.
his way. My kids have been toying with it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so, so most of my family eats this way, and they've came to eat this way because they've seen the effects and an example of what it's done to me.
Mm-mm.
But they, I was in such a dark place. They would have been happy with me doing anything that would have got me out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
So even if they were kind of against it, if he thinks it's going to help, by all means do something because something's got to give, or
Yeah, yeah,
from where
yeah.
I was at.
Yeah.
As far as the people outside of my family, the people that know me know that, like, honestly, you better have if you're gonna come at me with some bull crap, you better have some backup because, like, I don't really, honestly, it's not. You can believe what you want to believe. I'm gonna believe what I'm gonna believe. But if you're like coming in opposition to what I'm doing to try to force your way on me, like that ain't gonna work either.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have time for all that. As far as like the opposition to this way of eating, show me a video of something else that does the same thing as effective or more effective. That's all I need to see.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I need to see. Show me the vegan videos of people testifying where it's helping cure type 2 diabetes,
Yeah,
reverse
yeah.
non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Um, you know, and their blood work is optimal. Like their markers are all great. Show me those videos and we can talk. Until then, I just don't want to hear it. It's just not factual.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
honestly, that's
Man.
just where my heart and head is. So I feel sorry for the people who have family members that attack them for eating this way, and it's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
You know, it is definitely something that's a struggle for a lot of people, and my heart goes out to them. At the end of the day, man, like those people, just a lot of people are not going to understand a lot of the decisions that you make when you start looking out for you,
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
that's a much deeper issue. And I don't want to ramble. We can kind of go into it, but um, at some point you have to set boundaries for yourself, and you don't even break those boundaries, because when you break your own boundaries, you're allowing other people to know that it's okay to break those boundaries too. You are
Mm, mm.
important, you are valuable, and you are worth fighting for and getting healthy. And anybody who can't get on board with that, I honestly don't know what to say other than, like, you are worth fighting for and getting healthy, and you need to be a priority for you. And the only way that you can do that a lot of times is set those boundaries and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
not break them, and not let anybody, no matter who that is, break them,
Mm,
whether
mm,
that's
mm.
family, friends, or whatever. And that's hard. It's a deep issue, and it's not easy. It's easy to talk about. It's not easy to do.
No,
But
no.
don't give up hope and don't get discouraged. Just keep pushing forward and keep fighting for it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that look, yeah, I will say it on live here. It's definitely people that are close to me, and that's what I guess as a person who cares for these people,
Mhm.
um, it hurts because it's like I know how much it's impacted me, and it's helped me overcome so much. And I'm not forcing it into anyone. I'm not saying anyone needs to change their diets or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But when I like to say that people have been brainwashed for far too long. And I think it's
Mhm.
really, really deeply rooted to a point where, you know, it just doesn't make sense to them. And I don't know how I could justify it any further. You know, I've raved on about cholesterol not being a thing to worry about when it comes to heart disease. And I've provided evidence, and so much evidence that I think could justify it for anyone, without any scientific background or even health background. Yet people are still really really
Opposed.
defensive about this issue. And so yeah,
Mhm.
and I think it makes it even more difficult as a parent, because I try and um let my kids, well, I try and manipulate, or not manipulate, sorry, I try to influence their way of eating to the best of my abilities.
Mhm.
um However, they go to school, and so whatever they see at
Mhm.
school and whatever their friends are eating, they'll eat it. So
Oh, that's
mm,
that's that's one of my probably one of my biggest failures that I didn't realize until down the road. If I absolutely could go back to 15 years ago when our son was
mm,
born, I
yeah,
can assure you, if I knew then what I know now, there would
yeah,
not be sweets in my house. And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
people can say in the comments all the mean crap they want to say, and I don't care. Okay,
yeah,
I would not I would not allow that junk into my home because I know the damage that it has the potential to bring, and I do not want to be the reason why my kids end up with type 2 diabetes
exactly,
or
exactly,
not heart attacks down the road,
yeah,
or strokes down the road, or obesity down the road, or mental disorders down the road because they're not getting the nutrients that they need. If you
yeah,
don't have the addiction from the time you're a kid, like a lot of us did, and
yeah, yeah,
you're not addicted to the junk. Yes, they may get older and go out and eat all the standard American diet they want, and that's their decision. But it daggum won't be my fault. And that's
yeah,
something that I have to live with, that I allowed that junk into my house, allowed them to get addicted to
yeah,
it. And if I could
yeah,
go back and change that, I 100% would. And at the end of the day, man, I feel like the only way, like with the people that are opposed, even in your family, once you share the truth, once you put the word out there, that's all that you can do, and you just have to stand and just be you. You like there's nothing you can do. There's a lot of people who are going to oppose us, brother. Um,
yeah,
and we're not going to win everybody, as far as we're
no,
not going to convince everybody. Not everybody's going to think it's a great idea. However, we know the truth. We share the
yeah,
truth. That's as far as we can do it. And
that's
at
it,
some
that's it,
point, we I can love you from a distance. I don't
yeah,
have to.
yeah,
It's hard because there's a lot of people that come with things to me as well. Even this week, somebody made a comment that was on the channel about something that was insignificant, had nothing to do with the way we were eating at all. It was something I was wearing, and
yeah,
and I was like, "Are you serious? Really?" Like, I will take the insult that you just made towards me. However, I would ask that you research what you're talking about, because I don't think you realize what you're saying.
yeah,
A lot of times people just it's you're not gonna convince either way, and
yeah,
so you know the truth. You just got to stand on it.
yeah, that's it, that's it, yeah,
That's all we can do,
that's
and
exactly
lean
right.
into the community.
Yeah, that's it, that's it. And that's what I was saying, the power of community, man. It is very powerful.
Absolutely.
Let's have a look at some of the comments here. So from Beverly, I've had family members that ate mostly meat. I just always thought that they were weird for not eating vegetables. I really do like vegetables, but I do feel much better eating carnivore. Ah, look, yeah, man, carnivore does that for people. I guess. I for one, I've hated vegetables growing up. Hated it.
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
there were certain vegetables. Wow, something went off on my computer. Yes, there were certain like, dude, I grew up eating like cream corn
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like even onions. Like my grandma, I used to give her, like, my grandma would sit there and eat an onion like an apple. Like, I don't know, it's just something she grew up doing, I guess. But like certain things, I'm with you. I thought people were weird that didn't eat vegetables. How in the world could I get all my nutrients from meat?
Yeah,
That's insanity. But yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, it made a huge difference. So,
yeah.
but I can assure you, after a little over more than a year of eating this way, I feel amazing, and it's giving my body whatever it needs to perform optimally, to correct the numbers, my lab work. So, um, they're on to something.
Hey, on this-
Clearly
and,
on to something.
isn't it funny though? Like, you know, I never felt good eating vegetables growing up. I never felt the way that I felt now
Mm,
not eating vegetables. And it's being, touted as, you get all your nutrients and your vitamins from your veggies and your fruits.
yeah.
Um, and yet people are, struggling with things like iron deficiencies, all these deficiencies in
Mhm,
vitamins and minerals. Oh, but we're eating vegetables though, so we're we're getting all of that through our vegetables. It's crazy.
mhm. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
let's
Well, I
go.
mean, if you look at the way that truth has been stipend and held back from the general population and public, and the studies that supposedly prove their theories and stuff, that should cause people to question everything. You know,
Exactly.
anything that you have ever thought to be the truth that can't stand up to scrutiny, you
Mm,
should
mm,
absolutely revisit it. Yeah, you've been told that vegetables and fruits are the way to go to be healthy. You definitely need to look at some things, question some things. You can do anything for 30 to 60 days. Try it out and see for yourself. Give it up, see what it's like. I
mm,
mean,
mm.
I'm not saying I never have and never will. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Josh's word for it. Don't take anybody's word for it. Try it
Yeah,
for yourself and then come back and let's talk and see what the difference is. That's what I
yeah,
would say. And
yeah,
anything else for that matter.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Hey Dave, good to see you,
Hey,
man.
that's my
Hey,
brother. My brother right
hey.
there. What's up, Dave? I
Oh
love
man,
Dave, man. He's awesome.
awesome stuff. Um,
Good night, Rena.
oh, good night, Rena. Um,
Take care. We'll see you soon.
yeah, man. Um, what else? Hey, what? I guess. What do you enjoy most about being on the carnivore diet? I guess what is the top thing that you would enjoy?
Oh man, the simplicity of it. As
Yeah,
far as the actual process of it all, like I literally eat eggs. I put an egg video out actually yesterday of the
you
eggs
did.
that I eat. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the eggs that I have eaten for I don't know almost a year now. Like that's how
yeah,
I've done them the whole time. Like I don't have variety. I'm one of the most boring people when it comes to food you will ever find. I literally have those eggs from that 5 minute video that I put out
yeah,
and a
yeah,
ribeye steak with butter on it every single day. That's what I have. And so when I get hungry, my body's like, you better eat something. That's what I go get. I
yeah,
eat it and I'm done. Like I'm back to doing life.
yeah.
And I don't think about food. Like the least amount of time that I could think about food. Now I know that sounds crazy because I'm on
Oh,
YouTube and all
yeah,
I
yeah,
do is talk about food.
yeah, yeah,
But the reason I can talk about the food and do all these things is because over the last year I've worked on my mental transformation when it comes to food, and I don't I don't have to. Like I go eat, I'm done with it. I prepare
oh
it.
man,
I grill 5, 6 steaks
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it really is that simple. Don't buy into the I need variety, I need to have fun. Food is
yeah,
not
yeah.
fun, food is fuel. When your car
Exactly.
gets when your car's running out of fuel, you don't care what gas station you stop at, just so long as you get enough fuel so that you don't break down on the way home from work tomorrow, okay? Or
Yeah,
you break down on the way to get to work tomorrow. It doesn't matter if it's BP, Exxon, Shell, or whatever gas station it is, just so long as that fuel works in your vehicle and gets your vehicle from point A to point B.
yeah,
Now, we give ourselves the optimal human diet, it helps us function correctly. So, oh man, I think Dave got a question. What is he
Got a
saying?
question here, Dave. Have you had any family, friends, colleagues that have converted to keto carnivore because of your results? I'll let you take the floor on that one, and I'll
Oh yeah,
follow
like
you. Yeah.
my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law eat this way. Have seen some amazing results as far as weight loss and as far as the way they feel.
Mm.
My wife has been since May 1st. My wife has been eating this way, not because she needed to lose. She's no bigger
Nice.
than she's no bigger than a grasshopper anyway.
Yeah.
But she had some gastro issues that she wanted to correct, and she could even tell a difference. She doesn't get the in the morning she would get jittery whenever she would eat cereal or something like that,
Yeah.
and eating eating eggs and mostly meat, hamburger
Mm,
meat or
mm,
whatever. She doesn't get jittery anymore. My
mm.
mom, I've been waiting to hear my mom's results as
Man.
far as her thyroid. She has had Hashimoto's and she autoimmune, and she started eating this way. And so hopefully her numbers are going to start correcting even more. I don't even have a number, but they were working towards getting better. As far she had just had a surgery when she started eating this way. Her healing from
Really?
the her surgery healing is like almost supercharged it. She's back to walking and doing whatever else physically that she wanted to do. So yeah, there's a handful of people in my family that are eating this way and have seen some amazing results. Thanks for that, Dave. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Dave. Hey, well done, man. It looks like you've got a few. Actually, you've got a handful of close family members that you've got on board. Good
Oh,
job.
absolutely. I'm happy to
Most,
see it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd be really happy if I'd got close family or friends on board. I have not gotten any family members apart from my daughter and my wife to go on
That's a
carnivore,
win.
which is, yeah, it is a win. It's a huge
That
win.
is a win. That's a
It
huge
is
win.
a huge win. I would
That's
I'd even like to say that my wife was probably uh just not consciously thinking about it, but she was eating a ketogenic diet even before this whole keto thing was going on, and before it got popularized. I think she was just, this is how she's been eating her whole life. She just never ate a lot of carbohydrates. But the biggest, I guess, impact that I've had were on my colleagues at work.
mhm.
I've got a few colleagues that are nurses that have went carnivore and are doing very well on it. And I've even got I've had a chat with one of our doctors, our consultants, actually.
Nice.
So high up there, man. And yeah,
That's good.
she got into the carnivore diet, and I felt
Nice.
kind of humbled because you don't expect someone of that high level of a doctor to listen to this nurse here who's raving on about meat being good for you. But yeah, man,
Well,
she yeah.
let that be a lesson though, brother. Like honestly, it doesn't matter. Like it's easy for us to look at um the numbers that are rolling around on our channel and think
Yeah,
that, well, I'm reaching this number and you're reaching that number,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Throw all that stuff away. Get that out of your head, and I do the same thing.
yeah, yeah,
But here's the thing, man. If you and I are blessed with such an opportunity like we have right now, if we
yeah,
just reach one, if
yeah,
we can just
exactly.
change
Yeah.
one person, then we should count that as a win, because honestly, it might be me. It could be
Mm-mm.
me. You know what I'm saying? So like a year ago, I didn't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
was depressed. I didn't want to continue life. And because somebody was honest enough to share the truth, and I was open enough to try the truth, it completely and utterly changed my life. And
Wow.
you could be the next person to reach me down the road. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to
yeah,
be. Don't think like you and I do not get caught up in the fallacy that it's got to be big numbers. One person
yeah,
that's
yeah,
listening. makes the difference, and that person can reach one person. So it's all worth it. It's all important, and it's all more valuable than we'll ever be able to calculate. So don't,
Absolutely.
never, always put the word out there and keep pushing forward, man, because it's vitally
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely. Not I totally agree. All right, let's answer Beverly's question here. I have a question. I've never seen anyone ask one of these live Q in live Q&As. I had a bowl of ice cream about 2.5 weeks ago. After that, I felt like the roof of my mouth was burned. Oh, uh, it took a week or so for my mouth to feel better. I've had that burn sensation in my mouth before over the years. I've always thought it must be something hot I ate, but I don't know. Mm. Are
Say
these
that
chemical burns?
chemical burns.
Are these chemical burns from the garbage that's in commercial ice cream? Wow.
That's a good question.
Man, I don't know. Um, Beverly, I'm sorry. How about you,
That's a really
Sean?
good question. I have no earthly idea, to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't even want to speculate. I don't know why. Uh, it possibly, if it
Yeah, yeah.
came
I
from
mean,
if it happened when you ate the ice cream, and that's all that changed, and you've had that experience ever since that, from that, then it's
yeah,
hard for me now why it did that and how it did that. That's a good question. I couldn't even begin to answer that. But I mean, the only takeaway I can get from that is don't have that stuff anymore, whatever
yeah,
that is.
yeah.
Whether that's
Whatever it
it's
is.
that brand or something wrong with that actual batch of that brand, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but it very well could be. I definitely would not want to have any more of that.
yeah. No, definitely not. Look, I mean, there are. I've had moments where I've had certain foods that for example, like bread and real, heavy, dense, fibrous foods. If I've had, even just a little bit, I would feel like my bowels were just gonna turn inside out. Like it's bad. Like it's really bad. I don't know whether if it's maybe that you've been so adapted to the carnivore diet, Beverly, that you might have these sensations that I guess you might not have felt when you were not on carnivore, that you've just gone through this adaptation in this way of eating. I don't know, but yeah, it's that's a really interesting one. Just yeah, I would avoid that particular item of food from
Oh
here
yeah.
on. So yeah.
I man, yeah. So I could tell a difference whenever I have anything like I tried the Element electrolytes, and
Yeah, yeah.
the flavored ones. So somebody gave us some, and like I didn't have any other electrolytes, and I had never had them. I wanted to try them. Everybody swears that they're great, and I haven't had sweet stuff in so long. I think I had a piece of cake at my nephew's birthday party over the last year. And when a 3-year-old gives you cake, you eat the cake, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Nevertheless, um, so that's the one thing that destroyed my stomach.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but, but nevertheless, as far as the element, the flavored element, it doesn't make me crave sweets and weird stuff so much. It made me so hungry. I felt like I could eat a house. Like
Ah,
I ate and ate. Like I'll be honest with you, I ate like today. I ate 4 pounds of shrimp.
4 pounds. Really?
4 pounds of shrimp today.
Jeez.
I had 8 eggs this morning. So I mean, maybe that's not a lot for somebody. I don't know. For me, I was like, "How much shrimp was in that box?" I asked my wife. She's like, "Well, the box was a 5 pound box, and there was 5 pounds of shrimp in there, and there's like a small kitchen bowl of shrimp left. I just ate. I was like, you can't just give me shrimp and not expect me to eat. It was great, and
Yeah,
I normally
man.
don't eat a whole lot of shrimp, but it was given. Someone gave us some shrimp, and it was amazing. And they gave us 2 boxes, two 5 pound boxes, and I ate all but one pound, just about, maybe a little less, a little 4 pounds or more out of that box. whatever it is about those electrolytes, I don't know what it is, but it makes me like absolutely starve and want to eat like crazy. Nevertheless,
Wow.
I had to get some of this.
Oh.
The non-flavored keto chow
Yeah, yeah,
daily
yeah.
minerals. I had to get some of that because I'm like, whatever is in the element is absolutely rocking my world. It's causing me to eat like crazy.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm gonna try the non-flavored kind again and see. I had
See
to
how
get
that
your
goes.
mind back,
Yeah.
see how it does. It's weird
Yeah,
how
yeah.
things affect you like that, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It's very weird. Hmm. All right. Hey, we're about an hour and a half in. I think we'll cap off
Yeah.
fairly soon. I've got here. All right, man. This is a good buddy of mine. This is actually one of my best mates here.
Oh yeah.
Um, uh, uh,
Looks like he's ready to
uh,
get in, man.
he's ready to get in, man. Hey,
Get
man.
in.
Let's do it.
That's
Let's
what's
do
up.
it. Oh, hey,
There
Nesta.
you
I'll
go.
hit you up, man. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Um,
There you go,
so
brother.
you know, let's do this. Let's do this. That's
It's
awesome,
one of
man. Hey, that's good. Hey, you said that one, right? I got one.
one. That's what I'm saying, man. And I mean, who knows, man? That might be who knows who that person's going to have an effect on. I can
Yeah,
assure you, the carnivore diet is the proper human diet. If you
exactly.
haven't ever
Yeah,
tried it, what are you waiting on? Because this thing will absolutely give your body what it needs to function properly. Get
yeah,
all that processed foods and sugars out, and I can assure you, you're going to feel like you have never felt before, and you're going to be glad you did, friend.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it is life changing. Life changing. And you know, I do what I do on online on YouTube. You know, doing
Mhm.
these interviews and talking about it. You know, not just for the clicks and for the for the views, but it really is to spread the message and to let people know that hey, this diet for one exists, and two, it does wonders, man. Like Sean, amazing stuff. I think your weight loss on its own is I can't even imagine that kind of weight being lost on a person. You know that's
It's
that's a huge amount, man. That's a huge amount. Um, so hey, I want to cap this off here, Sean. So look, thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you for everyone's questions. But I want to thank you, Sean, for your time. Honestly, dude, you've got an amazing story. You're an amazing person, very motivational and very inspirational. Um, I'd love to have more chats with you in the future, in the near future, if possible. Is there a final message that you want to get out there for people? For those wanting to start carnivore, what sort of messages you got for them?
absolutely. I was going to show you. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, I can, man.
Ugh.
Gee,
All right. So
wow.
that was
Who is that guy?
that was Christmas before last. I just wanted to show that because like this that could be you next year. That was me a year and a half ago, and the benefits have been amazing. It's been amazing to see what carnivore diet could do. The weight loss. It was absolutely amazing. The mental health transformation was even better. And I, like I said before, I would trade it again. So if you're out there and you've lost hope, if you've lost the will to go on, the determination, number one, I would say try to say find that faith. Number two, I would say give carnivore diet a try. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you have to lose?
Mm,
Next year, you could look completely and utterly different than how it looks today. Don't give up, don't back up, don't let up, don't stop fighting, don't stop pushing forward because life does not have to stay the way that it is now. There is hope. There is a brighter future coming, and I believe that we can reach the world and we can change the world with this message. I
Mm-mm.
always tell people on the channel, I said, bless people, help people. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're not trying to
Mm.
sell you nothing. We're not trying to get you hooked on some plan or anything like that. Next time you're at the store, get yourself some beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Get yourself some chicken. Get yourself
That's it.
some fatty ruminant meat. Kick out the sugar and the carbs. It's not going to be. You don't have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us are going to be perfect. What you got to do is just be consistent. If you fall down, get back up.
That's it.
But
That's
like I
it.
said, don't ever give up. Stay strong and keep pushing forward. And that's the message. Try it out. Give it 60 to 90 days, and then let us know how it works for you. And I guarantee you're going to be glad you did. That's the message that I want to leave with everybody. Don't give up. Don't let that depression take over. There is hope. There is a brighter tomorrow. Please, whatever you do, if you've tried everything else, give this a try and see what it does for you. It made a huge difference for me.
Mm-mm. Sure has. Sure has. All right,
And
Sean.
thank
Well, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you so much for allowing me to come on your channel and share my story and my journey and fellowship with you. It means a lot to me to be able to talk and to share with everybody, my friend. And I got to get you on the channel. We'll have you on one day with us too, and just see. I want to have you on. I want to have Reno on that was in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important. I feel like it's good to fellowship with other like-minded individuals and what better way to reach the world, man? I believe that we're stronger together, and um, and that's kind of like my goal, my mission. So let's make it
Awesome.
happen, buddy.
Let's do it.
Keep
Let's do
doing
it,
what
man.
you're
I'm
doing.
I'm I'm hyped, man. I'm really motivated. Would love to get onto your channel. Speaking of, can you just let people know who are who don't know you, where people can reach you? What are your
Absolutely.
socials? And yeah,
Yeah, so Intentional Carnivore on YouTube. We have a Facebook community group for anybody that wants to. It's a private group. We share within the community. We don't put anything outside of there. If it goes
mm,
on in there, it stays in there. It's free. It's called a carnivorous community. Doesn't matter whether you're keto carnivore or ketovore. We've
mm,
got different people that hopefully can speak to that, whatever it is that you're eating at the time. Obviously, I promote carnivore and beef, butter,
yeah,
bacon, and eggs because that's what I do. There are people in there who do ketovore and keto, so you can find something that'll help you out. The main thing is that we are stronger together, and so the carnivorous community on Facebook's where we do that. I am on Instagram, Intentional Carnivore, and I have a Twitter. I barely seldom check it, but I do have some stuff on there. It's Intent Carnivore because for some reason Elon Musk will not let me
someone
put Intentional Carnivore
really?
on there. It's too long.
Uh,
Nevertheless, no, it's not Elon's fault. But yeah, absolutely. You guys stay strong, and I appreciate you, Joff, man. Like I said, I can't say it enough. Let me share and all that. And we'll keep pushing on together, my friend.
all right, man. Thanks again for your time. All right, guys. Thank
Absolutely.
you all for watching. For all those who've made comments, thank you for that, and for those who have watched all throughout this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. I'll cap it at that, and I'll see you guys in the next live or the next interview, next video, whatever it is. All right, guys. All right.
See ya.